Greetings, valiant Helldivers, and welcome to the Liberty. I'm your host, Vanguard. Let's get straight to business, as the enemies of managed democracy never rest. Galactic War Recap. It is officially day 400 of the Galactic War, and at present, 33,735 Helldivers are deployed in the field. 19,154 Helldivers, 56.78% of our forces, are on the bug front. 6,991 Helldivers, 20.72% of our forces, are on the bot front, and 5,636 Helldivers, just 16.71% of our forces, are on the squid front. Unfortunately, Operation Wild Hunt resulted in failure. The final status report is as follows. Following days of diligent resource collection and repurposing of enemy combatants, the Helldivers have enabled the construction of a partial blockade of the Meridian Singularity. Scrap metal collection efforts were below target, resulting in a barrier that is porous, but still moderately effective. Thousands of SEAF warships, transports, and refitted merchant vessels now form a network of ships surrounding the Singularity from all sides, moving in interlocking, randomized patterns. While Illuminate ships remain undetectable in interstellar space, the blockade has already made a difference. Dark energy accumulation has slowed. Scrap metal deficiencies have left large holes in the blockade's coverage. An impermeable barrier remains out of reach without significantly more resources or advancements in Illuminate ship detection. As our citizens prepare to mourn the loss of Moradesh, they now have hope. The rest of the planets in the Singularity's path may still be saved. At present, the Helldivers are awaiting the next major order. It is expected that this will be issued within the next few hours, so remain on standby. To date, the Helldivers have completed over 461,934,000 missions. Over 3,251,000,000 Helldivers have given their lives for managed democracy. Over 102,761,000,000 Terminids lie dead. More than 41,442,000,000 automatons have been scrapped, and over 19,207,000,000 Illuminates have been erased from existence. Helldivers, we cannot afford to become complacent. We must gather our strength and face the enemies of humanity wherever they rear their ugly heads. More firepower, more problems? Support weapon mount backpack proposal gains traction, but High Command warns Helldivers to stop skipping leg day. Helldivers are always looking for ways to bring more democracy to the battlefield, and a recent proposal for a support weapon mount backpack might be the most firepower-packed idea yet. This innovative concept would allow Helldivers to carry not one, but two support weapons, effectively doubling their destructive potential while also increasing ammo reserves. However, High Command has issued a word of caution. While democracy demands strength, your legs might demand mercy. Carrying dual heavy weapons is no small feat, and Helldivers who have been skipping their mandatory squat regiment may find themselves struggling to stand, let alone spread freedom. Could this be the future of warfighting, or will Helldivers collapse under the weight of their own ambition? Only time, and rigorous physical training, will tell. And now for our democratic question of the day. Recently, we asked our brave Helldivers, what's your most controversial Helldivers hot take? This will not be reported to the Ministry of Truth. Disclaimer, it will. The Ministry of Truth is reviewing your most treasonous, insightful opinions on the battlefield. Helldivers have spoken, and the takes are as explosive as a misplaced hellbomb. Gas stratagems are useless. Autism GGST dares to question the effectiveness of gas-based weaponry, claiming they serve little purpose outside the bug front and could use some buffs. Sounds like someone hasn't been properly trained in tactical area denial. The sickle burns brighter than democracy itself. Roy Earl 1673 condemns the LAS-17 double-edged sickle, saying it forces Helldivers to wear fireproof armor, removing other useful passives. According to them, setting yourself on fire for more pew-pew isn't worth it. We'd say this is slander against freedom-fueled plasma, but let's be honest, we've all roasted ourselves at least once. Smoke stratagems on the automaton front? Genius or madness? 209th ODHT Division argues that smoke is crucial against the Western automaton front, where glowing enemy optics make them too easy to spot through standard concealment. This could be a revolutionary take, or just an elaborate plot to get more Helldivers to carry smoke instead of proper firepower. Some Helldivers are waiting for the next question. J&BK Doggar is biding their time, waiting for a different question. Could they be harboring a true controversial take, or are they simply avoiding the Ministry of Truth's scrutiny? As always, all responses have been forwarded to High Command for further review. Stay vigilant, stay democratic, and remember, liberty is mandatory. Feeble young adults saved, yet they failed to save us. Even though my arms are too weak to wield a weapon, I will use the strength in my heart to carry the flag. Young feebled adult. Helldivers, you did what was once thought impossible. Against overwhelming odds, you stormed the battlefields, braved the horrors of war, and rescued the feeble young adults of Super Earth from certain doom. With sweat, blood, and an absurd number of hell bombs, you secured their future, ensuring they would have the privilege of living in a free and democratic galaxy. And how do they repay us? By failing to meet their duty to Super Earth. The recent major order called upon all citizens to contribute to the construction of a blockade against the Meridian Singularity. The Helldivers answered in force, ripping through hordes of Terminids and Bile Titans, ensuring the required biomass was gathered. They annihilated millions of Shredder tanks, surpassing expectations. But when it came to scrap 1 billion clankers, when we needed every citizen to contribute, these so-called saved feeble young adults did nothing. Where were they when we needed boots on the ground? Where were they when automaton factories churned out waves of destruction against our cause? Nowhere. Sitting comfortably in the Ministry of Expansion's dormitories, lifting weights, carrying flags, and writing motivational quotes, but not putting in the real work that keeps democracy alive. Super Earth will never forget this failure. We saved them, but they failed to save us. Major order. Tabletop training initiated. Attention Helldivers, the Ministry of Defense has authorized a new training initiative, Helldivers 2, the board game. This officially sanctioned war simulation will allow squads to sharpen their tactical skills before setting foot on the battlefield. Your mission is clear. Assemble your squad, strategize your approach, and deploy the power of democracy and overwhelming firepower to eliminate the alien threat. Failure is not an option. The briefing goes live on April 8th, 2025 via GameFound. Enlist now and prepare to train, liberate, and enforce managed democracy one role at a time. For Super Earth, for liberty, for justice. And now for Super Earth's Art of War. Today's lesson, secrecy. Let your stratagems be classified and unknowable, concealed behind layers of bureaucracy, and when you deploy, descend like a hell pod. Swift, unstoppable, and carrying excessive firepower. A true Helldiver does not telegraph their intentions to the enemy. The strength of Super Earth's forces lies in unpredictability. Our foes cannot counter a plan they do not see coming. Keep your movements obscured, your approach unknown, and your deployment sudden and overwhelming. Secrecy is a weapon as powerful as any liberator. When the time comes to strike, do not hesitate. The moment your boots, or more likely your face, hits the ground, unleash the full might of your stratagems and superior firepower. The enemy should not have time to react, only to regret. This is the doctrine of Super Earth warfare, deliberate in planning, decisive in execution, and merciless in application. Those who master this will not just survive, but will liberate entire worlds for Super Earth and democracy.